Alright guys, so today we're going to start with the late Byzantine Empire. The first thing you need to know is that wealthy landowners are going to undermine the theme system. Now the theme system is when generals are put into power of regions. Now these regions are going to be controlled by generals who are based on merit and not family name, which is a huge component of what makes it successful. Towards the end of the theme system, wealthy landowners are going to overthrow it because the wealthy want to keep power for themselves. And by overthrowing the theme system, no longer is going to be local government being done by people based on merit. It's now going to be based on wealth and class. That keeps the wealthy wealthy and the poor poor. So it's a bad thing for normal people like you and I. It's a good thing for the wealthy. Okay? This new system that's going to replace the theme system is going to be eerily similar to feudalism. Feudalism is when you have a regional king. You have your lords and your nobles, your wealthy class are controlling and getting farming. This is going to happen with free peasants are going to be dependent heavily for agriculture. And that's a big thing. So, Byzantium was not feudalistic, now it's going to become feudalistic. And feudalism is going to be the most popular government structure in both Europe and now Western Europe as well. So, when we talk about what's happening in Western Europe, okay, we're going to see huge economic development. Western Europe, for the first time since the fall of Rome, is going to become an economic powerhouse. They are the largest and most important people who are coming out of Western Europe are the Normans. Now, Normans are a big deal. They're going to challenge the Byzantines. Okay, they're also going to invade Italy and England. So they are going to be seen as little terrors running around, causing a whole lot of destruction. When we talk about Western Europe, we're really talking about how the Normans are surging Western Europe into power and influence. Eastern Europe is on the decrease of power, Western Europe's on the rise, and it's really on the back of the Normans. We're also going to see Crusades. I'm going to hopefully get to the Crusades today. The Crusades are going to sabotage the Byzantines. They are going to weaken the Byzantines, and eventually the Ottoman Turks, or Muslim Empire, is going to come in and finish the job. So the Byzantines are going to suffer under the Crusades. Constantinople will be sacked for the first time by the Crusades in 1204. That's the Fourth Crusade. Then we're going to see it officially fall in 1453 to the Ottoman Turks, and then Byzantium does not exist anymore. When the Crusades happen in 1204, what we're going to see is a huge suffering, but they're still limping on. And eventually they will fall in 1453, and the Ottomans will take over. Alright, so challenges from the east. Biggest thing you need to know is that they are being threatened by the Ottomans. Eventually, like I said, 1453, the Ottomans are going to take over, and there's no more Byzantium. So a big deal. All right, to the whiteboard, super quick. On your whiteboard, please tell me, what is the name of the European invaders who are going to conquer, attack both Byzantium, Italy, and England? Good, good. Isabella? Normans. On your whiteboard, please tell me, what year does Crusaders from Western Europe attack Constantinople? Good. Alexandra? 1204. On your whiteboard, what year does the Byzantine Empire officially fall?
It's 1204, a year neither remember.
Not as big as the one you have on your board now. What is it, Dean?
1450.
1453 is a much bigger year. 1204, you're just going to have the Crusades come in and kind of destroy a lot of things. On your whiteboard, please tell me, what is the common government structure of Western Europe at this point? What is the common government structure of Western Europe? Western. Good, I got 1, 2, 3. What is it, Patel?
Feudalism?
Feudalism. What a government system is failing in Eastern Europe during this time, and feudalism will replace it. Maya, theme system. All right, here we go. So, what is going to happen? All of a sudden, Europe is really going to start breaking up into regional empires. Previous to this, when I talked about it during week 9, Europe had a couple areas that were kind of organized government structures. Now, all of Europe is going to have some sort of government structure in place. Now, the Holy Roman Empire. Please look at me for 2 seconds. You'll have time to write, I promise. Look at me. Okay? Charlemagne came to the assistance of the Catholic Pope. The Catholic Pope created a title called Holy Roman Emperor and gave it to him. He didn't really have a territory because he was the emperor of what empire? Carolingian. He was not the Holy Roman Emperor. He was a Carolingian, but he was given that title, yes? Okay? Holy Roman Empire is going to come after the fall of the Carolingian. Does that make sense? So we have this title that's plucked out of the sky and given to Charlemagne. Charlemagne's going to have it. He's going to live it. His son's going to inherit it, and it's going to be passed down the Carolingian way. What's then going to happen is we're going to have an actual empire called the Holy Roman Empire come up after the Carolingian Empire falls. Does that make sense? So he created a title for Charlemagne. Then eventually someone's going to be like, oh my god, that's a great title. I'm going to make it my empire. Does that make sense? And the first one to take that and make it is Otto I. So write that down. Otto I is going to create the Holy Roman Empire. Okay? He is going to come into power post-Carolingian. So, Charles Martel starts it. Charlemagne makes it this massive, important thing. His son is then going to destroy it. Otto is coming at the end of the Carolingian. Now, Otto I of Saxony takes over the decline of the Carolingian Empire and establishes a new kingdom in northern Germany. While he's up in northern Germany, he's going to come to the Catholics' aid, the Catholic Pope's aid twice. Now, the Pope is going to be under attack from just normal invasions of cities. He's also going to be attacked by Byzantium. Okay? Iconoclasm has already happened. The Byzantines are pissed off. They're going to come over and try to sack him as well. Otto I is going to make it his priority to protect the Pope. The Pope, John XII, names Otto Emperor of the Holy Roman Empire. Okay? That will how he has the title. Please look over here for 2 seconds. Do we understand Roman numerals? We are now in the age of Roman numerals. And it will stay this way until we get out of 5. And people start getting more creative with their names. Okay, look over here because I'm going to go through it once and I'm not going to do it again. Jessica.
So Charlemagne, he never ruled the whole
No, it never existed. He was the Carolingian Empire. He ruled it. The Holy Roman Empire is going to come up at the end of the Carolingian after his death.
That's an Otto?
It's Otto I. Okay, yes.
When it says up there, and it's going back to like the east, like they were defeated in 1071. Was it the
Where are you?
The east was it the Seljuks or the Byzantines?
The Seljuks are going to invade. The Seljuks are going to invade from the east. They're not going to defeat the Byzantines. The Seljuks are going to eventually be defeated by the Seljuks in 1071. Alright, so here's your Roman numerals. This means 1. Look over here because I'm doing this once and not doing it again. You need to use your Roman numerals if they have them. 1, 2, 3, 4. If it's in front of something, it's a subtraction. 5 is the V. 6 means it's a V and a 1. Yes? 7, 8, 9. Once we get to the 5s, it goes front or before. And then 10 is this. Yes? So, on your whiteboard, please tell me, what is this? What is this? Good. Good. What is it, Maya? 19. Tell me, what is this? Good. What is it, Jack? 15. All right. Everyone got that? What is this? What is this one? Good. Lily, what is it? 25. Remember, if it's 2 of the same, you add them up. So this is 10, that's 10. So that's 20. Plus a V, it's got to be a 5. So that's 25. You need to keep your numerals separate. There's a bajillion Henrys, and yes, there's a Henry IV we're talking about today. Henry VIII is also a big one. We have a William I. Now, tomorrow I'm going to talk about William VII. You need to keep them separate. We have a Pope Gregory the 7th today. We're going to be talking about Pope Gregory the 9th coming up in a couple weeks. You need to keep them separate. All right, so tensions between emperors and churches. Now, conflicts in the church. Investiture. Look over here for a second. Look over here. This is going to help you understand this. So, in Western Europe, you have a king. Directly underneath him in power is a church official. Okay? Prior to the investiture contest, okay, the king could appoint his second in command. So if I am your king, and I'm going to choose Patel to be my number 2, because we're boss status, and she's my girl, and we're going to rule our little empire. Okay? If Micah is my pope, and I'm a Catholic, Micah's going to say, you know what, you can't have Patel. She's not a really good Catholic, and I don't control Patel. I want to have Emily as your number 2. So the Pope is going to tell the king who to put in my number 2 position. If I'm a king, and I wanted Patel, and now I have Emily, who's really wonderful, but we'll pretend like she's not. If I wanted Patel, and now I'm forced to deal with Emily, who's loyal to the Pope, not to me, is this a good thing for the king or a bad thing for the king? Bad thing. Now, if Emily is loyal to the Pope more than she's loyal to me, do you think she's going to be writing secret letters to the Pope to tell him my business? Absolutely. Do you think she's going to be tattletaling everything I do? Oh my God. Bennett was doing this. Can you believe it? Okay, so all of a sudden Micah has an inside scoop of what's happening in my kingdom. Does investiture be good for the king or good for the Pope? It's good for the Pope. The Pope has a secret inside track on everything. So, in Western Europe, we have the king and a church official who's second in command, who's loyal to the Pope. Okay? King Henry IV, okay? So the king does not, let me try this again. The Pope doesn't want me to be able to appoint Patel. He's going to force me to deal with that. That's called investiture. He ends lay investiture. Means when we say lay, we mean the non-church person. So the king wants to stop the Pope wants to stop the king from appointing non-church officials into his second in command. He wants to appoint everyone. So what happens is a king, Henry IV, and you need to know he's Henry IV. He's going to say, screw you, Pope. Hell no. I want Patel. She's my ride or die. I'm not dealing with Emily. Okay, so if Micah's my Pope, and Micah, you really want your girl Emily, because she is like ride or die for you, okay, what are you going to do as a Pope? What is it called when you banish someone from the Catholic Church? Excommunicate. So he's going to excommunicate me. Now please keep in mind, this is a really big deal, people, and so I'm really talking about and dramatizing it with Patel versus Emily, like this is so scandalous. Okay, the reason why excommunication is such a big deal is because people really did believe the Catholic Church was the entry into heaven and sent to hell. So if the Pope says, you are excommunicated, Isabella, she really thought she was going to be sent to hell and burn in eternal flames. Now, if someone is excommunicated, so we are all a village, a kingdom of Catholics, if Isabella is scorned and is given the title of excommunicated, none of you are allowed to speak to her, associate with her. All of your children are scandalized. All of your things will be burned by all the other people because everyone will see you as a heathen, and you'll literally probably just be murdered pretty quickly after. Excommunication of a king means everyone in the kingdom goes to hell. Because your king is the father of your country. So, if your king is excommunicated, all of you good little Catholics are going to be excommunicated as well. So if Henry IV is excommunicated, and all of his people are excommunicated as well, are his citizens going to be happy with him? No, absolutely not. They really did believe that they were going to be sent to hell. So, Henry IV needs to do a big symbol of action. Okay, so what he does is he walks from central of Germany, walks all the way to Italy. walks all the way to Rome, like literally walks. He wears one pair of pants, one pair of clothes. By the time he gets to Italy, which takes him about 3 months to walk it, he is literally in tatters. He walks all the way to Rome to find out that the Pope's not even there. He's in his summer palace, Avi, and he's up in the mountains of Italy. So he walked all the way to Rome, and then he has to walk up into the mountains. Once he reaches the bottom of the mountain, knowing that the Pope is, he sends someone to like, hey, is the Pope actually here? So he sends someone up, and the guy's like, yeah, the Pope's actually here. He literally crawls up a mountain, hands, knees, all the way up the mountain until he reaches the Pope. Now, the Pope has a huge ego, obviously. And to have one of the richest, wealthiest Catholics walk to you, then climb up a mountain on his hands and knees, is that a big ego stroke? Absolutely. And the Pope's just loving it. And he throws himself down at the feet of the Pope and says, I'm so sorry, I will never challenge you again. Please take us back. You know, I'll be the best Catholic. I'll be a role model. I will give you tons of money. He unloads half the wealth of his kingdom to the Pope. And the Pope's like, welcome back to the church. You are no longer excommunicated. So Henry is like, are you kidding me? That's all I had to do? Now I'm back in power? Now I have everything? So if you think about it, if your parents give you this super harsh punishment, and then you just go and you do one little thing, you know, you try to apologize and stuff to it, and they give in to what you're asking for, do you respect them as much? No. If you beg and like plead and cry a little bit, and your parents are like, oh man, here you go. Do you respect your parents as much? You may not like it, but when they hold their line and they hold it, you've got to kind of respect that, correct? Henry goes up, gets the Pope. The Pope says, man, welcome back. Thank you for coming. Henry's like, you kidding me? That's all I had to do? So anyway, he goes back to his kingdom. And he's like, we're not excommunicated anymore. We're back in the church. And everyone's like, awesome. Weird. You can just do that. You can kick people out, send them to hell, and then you can send them out of hell? Like, that doesn't make a lot of sense. So King Henry's like, yeah, I don't like this either. And everyone's kind of like, wow, the Catholic Church, is this an ego thing or a real God thing? So Henry's like, you know what? Screw you, church. I'm doing what I want. So we send Emily back to Micah. She's no longer welcome in the kingdom. She goes back to the Pope. Patel's in power. Yes! Yeah. Okay? And we say, screw you, Pope. We do what we want. So Henry is going to be excommunicated for the second time. And he will stay that way. And his kingdom will be excommunicated. This is the first political charge against the Pope. This is a big deal for a couple big reasons. It's the first direct challenge of a Pope by a king. This will lay the foundation for what will eventually become separation of church and state. The Pope is becoming too powerful. This is the first check on its power. Is the Pope going to still be powerful after this? Hello? Yes. However, it's the first real challenge and the first real tear in the fabric of the Catholic Church. This will be a huge deal. This will also lay the foundation for other popes other kings to challenge the Pope, which will later happen, and we're going to see is going to erupt into a bigger feud. Adrian, I'm so sorry, yes.
Didn't he stand barefoot in the snow?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he goes and completely walks out of his clothes, all this stuff. Like, it's this crazy act of, like, trying to get it. He gets it, and then he's like, you know what, I don't even care anymore. And then he goes back, yes.
Topic, but what is the date for the Holy Roman Empire named APW?
Oh, it doesn't matter. You don't need to know. It's not one of the big days. Okay, so the biggest reason why you need to know is because it's the first direct challenge of a church of the Pope. Okay, this will later become very, very common, which is going to get a lot of popes, a lot of kings excommunicated. It's also a big deal when we have the Protestant Reformation, Martin Luther, okay, which is the next big break. All the kings are going to become Protestant kings because they no longer have to pretend to listen to the Pope. This is the first time the Pope's challenge. All kings in Europe essentially become Protestant because they don't want to listen to the Pope anymore. It's a big, big deal long term. All right, so your next person is Frederick Barbarossa. Frederick Barbarossa is known as Redbeard. He's Frederick I. He is going to attack Lombardy, which is in North Italy. Now, This is going to happen after our lay investiture, or our investiture contest between Pope Gregory and Henry IV. What we're going to see is that Frederick is not a very good Catholic. So this is the first time a pope says to kill a Christian because the pope doesn't like him. Okay? He's going to conquer northern Italy. He felt that that was too close to Rome. He is going to have Christians kill him. He's going to be executed in a public way. This is the first time a pope had another Christian executed. It's also a power play. Okay? Because at this point, Henry IV is going to get away with a lot. Can we agree? So, the next pope is going to come in and say, no, we're not doing this again. And he's going to have a king executed, which is a big power play, which is why it's important. Okay? Yes, Lauren.
The thing about Frederick Barbarossa, that's part of the.
That's part of this. Yeah. That's part of this. All right. So regional monarchies. So the attack of Lombardy, North Italy. However, because he's a terrible Catholic, the church wants him dead and not in control. He is forced down from power and killed. That's why Frederick Barbarossa is a big deal. It's a power play by the Catholic Church to remain in power. You have to understand, at this moment in time that we're studying, this is the most powerful the Catholic Church is going to be. Okay? From here on out, the church is just going to lose power slowly, and then a lot, they're going to lose it, and then they're going to kind of maintain, and then they're going to start trickling out. Yes?
What's it say after attack on Lombardy?
Attack on northern Italy. However, because he was a terrible Catholic, the church wants him dead and not in control. He is forced down from power and killed. Okay, so it's a power play, and that's why it's a big deal. So your regional monarchies. First ones, you have France. You have Hugh Capet. He's a big deal. His family is going to rule France until the last king of France, which is going to be Marie Antoinette and... Oh, the 17th. Louis the 17th. 16th is going to be a big deal. Louis the 17th is going to get his head chopped off. Okay? So Capets are going to be your foundation of French royalty. The cool thing about this week is all this stuff is still going to have a major play for a very, very long time. All these people that I'm talking about, especially in France and England, are married and have bloodlines to all of your monarchies today. Okay? So England, this is the big one, which is why it has a box. The Normans invade England. They are the only exterior force that conquers England in its history. Napoleon's going to try to take England and fail. Hitler tries to take England and fail. William the First is going to... William the First or William the Conqueror is going to conquer Italy and conquer England. It's a very big deal. Prince William and his brother, what's his brother's name? The redhead one. George. Is it George?
No, it's not. It's Harry, right?
Harry. Right, see, I had you. Well, I was going with you. Okay? See, this is why you're my number 2. Oh, that was awful. We'll pretend that didn't happen. All right, so William the Conqueror is going to come in. Today's British descendants come from William the First or William the Conqueror. Okay? All British royalty comes from this line. This is really what we consider the first king of England. He's going to unify England. Eventually it'll break down again because we'll have the Scottish, we'll have the Scots and the Wales are going to start fighting back. But it is the only successful invasion of England. Last year there was a question on who was the only successful, which of the following was the only successful invasion. They had Hitler, they had Napoleon, they had William the Conqueror, and they had someone else. And the answer, of course, was William the Conqueror. It's also on Jeopardy all the time. So now you have a good Jeopardy answer. Okay? In Italy, it's made up of city-states and principalities. What's a principality? What's a principality? Think about it. A prince, a pality. It's with a prince. It's a very, 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 very small kingdom that really only has one town and some farmland around it. Today we only have a couple principalities. One of them is Monaco. Kingdom of Monaco. Monte Carlo, have you heard of it? It's in France. People, the wealthy and the famous, go there to park their boats in the famous port and to gamble. That's how they make their money, is off their casino. There's one real town in there, and it's surrounded by farms. Okay, that's a principality, very, very small and regional. Italy is going to not be unified until 1903. under one Italian peninsula. Papal states are going to be created. That's when the Pope has direct power. Instead of a Pope having influence over a king, the Pope is like, hey, you're doing this, and they do it. Northern Italy is slowly separating from the church. This is going to happen because of the Normans. They're going to come through and invade it for a second time, and Normans are going to invade in Northern Italy is because of Frederick Barbarossa. Southern Italy is going to start wavering because of the Normans. The Normans invade England, Italy, Byzantines. To the boards, here we go.
What is the chicken and why is Major League Baseball espresso?
What are you talking about?
The chart.
Is that what that says?
Oh, it's citizen.
It's
Lay. Citizen is the lay person. Here we go, on your whiteboard. Please tell me, what is the name of the first, Holy Roman Emperor of the Holy Roman Empire? Good. Who is it, Emily?
Otto the First.
Otto the First, on your whiteboard. Please tell me, what man was assassinated in order to retain the power of the Catholic Church? Okay, this was done to show the Catholic Church has power and influence in order to maintain its control. I think he's not executed. Who is it? Aiden. Frederick Barbarossa. On your whiteboard, please tell me, the Normans are going to conquer 3 territories. Where are those 3 territories? Good. Come on. What are the 3 territories the Normans invade? Good. What are they? Maya. Oh, no, just kidding. Isabella.
Byzantine, Italy, and England.
Byzantine, Southern Italy, and England. On your whiteboard, what is the name of the gentleman who leads the Norman invasion into England? He's the only conquering power of England. Jack.
William the First.
William the First. You either need to have your Roman numeral or his little nickname. You can't just say William anymore. You have to say the numeral, or you have to give the nickname.
That's the William the Conqueror.
Yes. Yeah, if you just write William, you won't score the points on the AP exam. You have to say William the Conqueror or William the First. On your whiteboard, please tell me, what is the name of the gentleman who first goes against the Catholic Pope? Who is the first to challenge the Pope's authority? Good. You need to have your numerals. Patel.
King Henry the Fourth.
Henry IV. On your whiteboard, please tell me, what Pope was directly challenged by Henry IV? He's going to excommunicate Henry and then allow Henry to come back into power. Good. Who is it? Who is it, Vanessa? Gregory VII, Pope Gregory VII. On your whiteboard, please tell me, what year does Constantinople fall and the Byzantines no longer exist? It'll also be renaming of Constantinople. Lauren. 1453. Here we go. Italy is going to be broken down. Iberian Peninsula, fine. Okay, so this is going to start the second agricultural revolution. Who can tell me, raise your hand, tell me, when was the first agricultural revolution? Isabella.
When they cultivated plants and stuff.
When?
Like in the Neolithic age.
Neolithic is your first agricultural revolution. This is your second. Okay? The first one is going to create cities and government, taxes, all the wonderful things we love. Okay? The second one is going to create a booming society. This booming society is going to be created by the second agricultural revolution. There's 3 major inventions that are going to spawn it. You have 3-field system, which is crop rotation. They have 1 field, lay fallow, and they move crops around it. That's a huge thing in honors, not so much for you guys, but crop rotation is a big one. Horseshoes are going to be made for the first time, and we have a horse collar. So now we have animals that are really helping with the burden of farming, and that's going to allow the domestication of horses to be used for farming, which is a big deal. Okay, more food equals more economic growth. Just like with the Neolithic Revolution, because we have so much food, not everyone needs to be farming. So if you're not farming, where are you going to go?
Specialization.
Okay, well, we already have that going, but where are our specialists living, Jessica? They're not farming, they're in the city. Okay? All of a sudden now we have urbanization, and this is the first time we have urbanization. What that means is people are moving into the cities for the first time on a major scale. Okay? Because we have so much food, because we have so much extra stuff, we don't need to have everyone farming, which means people are moving into the city in order to make money. Just like our original specialization of labor is occurring because of people needed to make chairs, tables, clothes in order to make money. People are going to head to the city now. Now, people are moving into cities to find work. The most common product being made is textiles. Who can raise your hand and tell me what's a textile? Dean.
It's like kind of like ephemeral material you make clothes out of.
Yeah, it's fabric. Absolutely. We call it fabric today. They call it textiles. When you go to a store, have you ever seen the huge, like now they're made out of paper, like cardboard, and then you just have folded cloth? It's called textile. That's all the different print. Now, when I say textile during the Middle Ages, is this machine-made textiles or is this people-made textiles? People made on a large scale. So Emily is going to own a textile shop. So she has 100 people making textiles and shooting things back, and it's all being done by hand. When we get into the 1800s and we have the Industrial Revolution happening, then it's going to be mechanized. Okay? However, we're not mechanized now, so please keep that in mind. Mediterranean Sea, we're going to see a boom here. Mediterranean Sea, Italy is going to dominate sea trade. They've been dominating it for centuries. Why not? They're going to continue now. They're going to set up ports along the Mediterranean Sea and the Black Sea. So major port cities are going to be created here as well. Hanseatic League. AP loves this stuff because it's a first. Hansa is an association of trading cities. Okay, they are going to trade in the Baltic and North Sea, mostly Poland, North Germany, and Scandinavia. The biggest thing you need to know about them is they're the first trade-based contract. Okay, we now have trade contracts everywhere. One of the biggest issues in the political debate is should we have signed the NAFTA, North Atlantic Treaty Organization, should we have signed it or should we not? Trump says no. Hillary was signed it, and then now she's saying maybe she shouldn't have signed it, so it's a huge issue. That is reminiscent of the Hanseatic League, which makes sure everyone's on a free trade kind of base. Yes? It's a big deal. AP loves it. Alright, so some cultural things that are happening in Western Europe. You're going to have social change. Chivalry is a code of conduct for knights and nobles. It's all Christian-based, which is a big thing. It's supposed to stop Christians from killing other Christians. Why would the Pope want Christians not to kill other Christians? Okay. Why? Aiden.
It stops fighting in feudalism.
It stops fighting in feudalism and allows Christians to start growing their population. If all the men are killing each other, can men make babies if there's no men? No. So by allowing and stopping Christians from killing other Christians, we have a larger population. When you have a larger population, do you have more or less control? More control, absolutely, because there's more Christians, you have more authority and more power. It's about protecting women as well, which is a huge component, which is why we call it chivalrous when men hold doors open for women. Yes? Okay, oh, well, look at that chivalry over there. All that. That's based off of that. And the Catholic Church creates it in order to stop Christians from killing Christians. Women, this is actually a huge hit for women. Chivalry is not a good thing for women. It makes us even more subservient, that we have to be protected, that we're so delicate. So it's actually kind of a bad thing for Western Europe for women. However, I do appreciate a door being held open, but I hold open doors for men too. So you should be doing it too, ladies. It's called kindness. Anyway. Troubadours. That was a little off topic, but that's okay. Troubadours. What is a troubadour? Who can raise your hand and tell me? Aiden.
Traveling musician.
Yeah. And what's the instrument they typically play?
Lute.
Yeah.
Not wire.
They typically play a lute, which is like a guitar that has like a rounded back. It's like a gourd kind of thing. And they always wear fancy outfits and stuff. Okay? They're troubadours. They're traveling poets and singers. The reason why they're a big deal and why AP cares about them is because they perpetuate this idea of knights and nobles being good, true, and good Christian leaders. Okay? Is that probably the actual case? No. You've all heard of Prince Charming, how he comes in on his white steed in his shining armor and comes and rescues the damsel. Yes? That's a troubadour created that myth. Okay, and it's being perpetuated because everyone loves a good love story. Everyone does. So troubadours are the ones behind that. Medieval cities are going to start growing in a major way. We're going to have greater self-government. Now here is the big thing that I do want to talk about. I'm sorry we're going so fast. Does that make you sad? Huh? What? Exactly. What did he say? Oh, I hate you all. Okay, so medieval cities are the economic center of the world, of Europe, okay? We have guilds pop up. Guilds manage your craftsmen. They're the one dealing with membership. You cannot open a store if you're not in the guild. And you can't be in the guild unless you have real talent and you have actually been trained appropriately, which is nice. It's a safety check. So if you decide you're going to open a chair store, why not? Okay, if you decide you're going to open a chair store, the guild is going to make sure you can actually make a damn good chair, which is nice. It's the safety of the patrons. It's the safety of. They're also making sure that we don't have 2 chair stores in the same town if we don't need 2 chair stores. They're trying to make sure that everything has economic opportunity to thrive, which is a very good thing. Catholics are going to start schools for merchants. Why are Catholics not teaching? Why aren't wealthy people coming to school? Why aren't our nobles sending their kids to school? Dean?
They're already guaranteed.
Okay, they're guaranteed, but how do you learn to become a noble, Dean?
By doing nobly things and going with your
Nobly things.
father.
What do you do, Dean?
Tag along.
Yeah, you watch your dad. And your dad teaches you how to be a good man and how to lead your people and how to inspire people and stuff like that. Do you actually have to be able to read and write to be a noble? No, you just watch your dad. That's how it's evolved. Why would merchants have to get an education? Why do merchants, Micah?
They need to be able to record things and I guess write them down.
Yeah, they need to be able to write things down. Because remember, credit is now happening in our towns. So if Micah comes in and he buys 4 chickens and I don't write it down, am I really going to remember everything? No, absolutely not, because there's too much things, especially in a bustling town. So I need to be able to write. I need to be able to do math. I need to be able to express myself and make sure I'm signing contracts that are just and fair. So your merchants are going to be the only ones being educated at this time. Okay? Once we get to the Renaissance is going to be the starting of the nobles starting to get educated. Right now, it's just the merchants. We're also going to have universities for the first time. Universities are just teaching priests. Like Harvard University is the oldest university in the United States. It was a seminary. It was a seminary. You can raise your hand and tell me what's a seminary. What do you got?
It's like a school where you go to learn to be a priest.
Yeah. All the universities were seminary-based or focusing on different aspects of. So if you were in science, you were trying to base all your science off of what the Bible says and stuff like that. So we have universities start popping up, but they're there to support the Catholic Church. Okay, Aristotle, St. Thomas Aquinas, okay, scholasticism, they're going to start the University of Paris. Popular religion, we're going to have, it's still going to be Catholicism, of course. We have some saints and stuff like that. Okay, there is, all right, St. Francis is a big one. They talk about St. Francis. Okay, so move St. Francis. St. Francis of Assisi does a vow of poverty to reject Catholic wealth. Was Jesus wealthy or poor? Poor. So they saw it as getting back to the basics. Okay, we're going to have religious zealots. Zealots. What are zealots? Yeah, they're like super extreme. Have you ever seen, like, there's a couple of people around town. They go to USF. They're standing outside Lightning games. I don't know why. And they're standing there with a pole that says God hates all these people. And they're standing there on their microphone quoting the Bible and saying terrible, horrific things. Yeah. Those are called religious zealots. If you confront them or ask them a question, they just start yelling at you and say you're going to hell. Yeah. That's a religious extremist. Okay. Heresy. Okay, heresy is when you're being condemned by the Catholic Church. We have your Baltic states. You're good here. Okay, so your crusades. Here we go.
Wait, what does it say next to poverty?
Vow poverty to reject Catholic wealth.
Does it say St. Francis or something?
Assisi. A-S-S-I. Okay, so your crusades are going, your biggest one, your most important crusaders is going to be your Templars. Have you all seen the Da Vinci Code?
Yes.
Okay, they're going to be your most important ones. Okay, they are going to find churches and monasteries. If you haven't seen the Da Vinci Code, it's pretty good. All right, guys, have a great day. We're going to finish up. I'm going to go as fast as I can. Have a great day. I will see you tomorrow. I am doing tutoring after school tomorrow.